what you doing? No, Beaver Creek Bear, you're not fooling. We can figure out what you're up to, but only if provided a clue that will help solve the riddle. So please don't belittle our confusion with your behavior conundrum. Kindly bestow a hint rather than stay mum. After exhaustively thinking it all through, eventually figured out what you're up to. On second thought, doubt seeps into suspect. Working theory must remain cautious and more than a bit leery when trying to decipher Beaver Creek Bear activity. Try to the best of one's ability. For Beaver Creek Bears often mysterious, infatuated with being overly curious. Wide-ranging activities these drama bears do to attract attention, entertain, and amuse. Use time of bear year as a mental cue. First camera fussing turns to romancing, transitioning to ant hunting and then dancing. Sprinkling, searching for raccoons by climbing trees, and for honey by following hummingbee. Throwing stump, mauling via clawing, bear wrestling includes face pawing. Finally, cornmeal cost for gorging, imagining all of that and more. Not hard with bear activity galore. We found us Beaver Creek Bears. Riddle us Beaver Creek Bears. Once one mystery is solved, another appears. What Beaver Creek Bears doing often never clear. Deep in the woods we must travel. If mysteries of Beaver Creek Bears we are to unravel.
With the Beaver Creek Bears, one must expect the unexpected. Bear activity is often reminiscent of those famous words by Vince Lombardi, "What the heck is going on out there?" Confusing bear activity usually leads to another entry into our ledger of Beaver Creek Bear mystery theater questions, which are riddles to decipher with further photographic evidence or bear close encounters. For instance, we were initially bewildered by the Beaver Creek Bear action shown in our opening scene. 6-year-old brothers Huey and Dewey play here a lot, so this location is called the Playpen. Dewey has always been overly emotional, so when Dewey saw Huey dancing with another, young rascal in this case, Dewey felt jilted and had one of his meltdowns. Luckily, Huey and Dewey eventually made up, and now all is forgiven. In general, the Beaver Creek Bears are one happy bunch. However, the second half of the 2025 bear year, the younger Beaver Creek Bears were more spirited than usual, and even carefree if we dare say. This created another entry into our log of Beaver Creek Bear mystery theater questions. Contemplating the overtly playful activity of the Beaver Creek Bear youngsters, it appeared as if they had been left alone without adult supervision. This turned our thoughts to the big guy, the dominant male along Beaver Creek. Black bears can live to be 25 to 30 years old, so we presume the big guy is at least 20 years old. Often the big guy can be identified by his height or his low-hanging belly fur. Of import, bear regime change is hard on all of us. For instance, several years ago, the big guy assumed the mantle of being the dominant male from Dig Dug, who used to dig holes in all the wrong places, especially in cornfields. When the big guy first assumed the throne, he was rather passive-aggressive with us for a couple of years, often trying to intimidate us by making a lot of noise as he got closer, before ultimately backing away. Finally, we arrived at a peaceful détente in which the big guy would merely politely monitor what we were up to when entering his woods. The big guy runs a tight ship, or rather tight forest. He has mellowed into a fair and just ruler, judiciously dishing out just enough bear justice as needed to keep all the other Beaver Creek Bears in line. Behaviorally, the big guy often abruptly stops in place and intently listens for a minute while on night patrol. He used to be an extremely paranoid ruler, often sitting along main wildlife trails patiently waiting for younger males to wander right into him. This served two purposes. First, sitting expends little energy, helping the big guy gain weight for hibernation. Perhaps more importantly, when any younger challengers to the throne did decide to engage in combat, the big guy had the advantage of being well rested. This seems to be his ace card, for as he sits and waits, he often does bear yoga and a lot stretching preparing for battle, similar to an aging athlete getting ready for a sporting event. And although the big guy is getting up there in age, his jousts are usually like fights of a young Mike Tyson, over in a blink of an eye. As examples, in 2023, 2 bear battles were photographed. Both fights lasted only 30 seconds or so before the foolish challenger quickly realized he was no match for the big guy. In the spring of 2024, more Beaver Creek Bear Mystery Theater was created as the big guy was seen traveling along Beaver Creek with another large male, likely 15 years old or so. The new male managed to avoid our cameras for the most part in 2024, as if using magic or wizardry, so we call him Merlin. As we had never seen the big guy befriend another male, we suspected something was amiss, so we gave this riddle some time to simmer. Previously, the thought that grumpy old big guy would have friends, or perhaps a long-lost brother, had never occurred to us. But alas, everyone should have at least one friend, even temperamental aging old bears. We finally arrived at a working theory that as the big guy was getting up in years, he was preparing for retirement. Like many rulers, the big guy wanted to handpick his successor. The big guy likely went through an extensive interviewing process before finding his guy and bringing Merlin, presumably the king-in-waiting, to Beaver Creek to show him the lay of the land. We do not know from whence Merlin came, but he is currently the second largest Beaver Creek bear. Merlin has fur with a hint of blue hue to it, along with a dark snout. Another thing about Beaver Creek Bear Mystery Theater is that first impressions are usually more right than wrong. For instance, as we continue to review our photos and videos from the second half of the 2025 bear year, one thing is glaringly absent from most of our memory cards reviewed to date: no big guy. Cold weather in March prevented Beaver Creek from greening up in a timely manner. The lack of food sources led to the bears sleeping in, pushing back the start of the 2025 bear year. No food, no bears. Still, in early April, the big guy was the first Beaver Creek bear up and about as usual. He seemed to be his normal self, often patrolling the woods at night, as is his custom, trying to keep the young Beaver Creek bears in line. The late start to the bear year seemingly pushed back mating season a couple of weeks. Still in late June, the big guy was seen courting Candy, our exotic female dancer. We had anticipated to see Candy in 2025, for healthy females mate every 2 years, and Candy was last seen in 2023. Incidentally, the big guy doesn't waste much time messing with our cameras. However, during mating season, he occasionally gives our cameras a quick menacing glance, expressing annoyance with us for interrupting his delicate romancing of a lady bear. As mating season wound down, in July, we heard the big guy rummaging loudly about in a cornfield by his favorite scenting tree, a crooked aspen that provides an excellent back-scratching experience, or so we're told. But after that, the big guy ghosted us. As an aside, late summer, the bears love the corn milk as an efficient manner to pack on the pounds for hibernation. Not surprisingly, due to his girth, the big guy knocks down a substantial amount of corn as he lumbers along. Thus, the decibel level between the big guy and the smaller bears, while moving about in a cornfield, is quite noticeable. As noted, we believe the big guy may have checked out of Beaver Creek shortly after mating season. If so, that is definitely a good way to go out, with one last love affair. We should all be so lucky. As alluded to, we had presumed that Merlin would step right into the role of being the dominant male and enforcer of bear law along Beaver Creek. However, Merlin was also noticeably absent from Beaver Creek the second half of the 2025 bear year, at least from the images we have reviewed to date. There remains plenty of photos and videos to review while the bears hibernate, but evidence is starting to mount that indicates there may be a power vacuum along Beaver Creek in 2026. This gives us pause, specifically bear pause. For with the big guy around and patrolling each night, everyone knew who was in charge and was on their best behavior to avoid drawing the big guy's ire. If there is no adult bear supervision, Huey and the boys may continue to party like it's 1999, which was the last time there wasn't a dominant male in charge of Beaver Creek. If our current theory is correct and there is no regime currently in place, in 2026, we can expect more of the following dancing and bear shenanigans along Beaver Creek.
Where you go, big guy, tell us it ain't so. We feel forsaken, are we mistaken? Please tell us we're alone, and you'll return after the harvest moon, dishing out bear justice fair and just. Only enough punishment as you must. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Did you retire to turn that scowl upside down? Sitting and waiting for challengers to enter the ring. Is that really no longer your thing? We feel all alone. The big guy suddenly sets the tone, maintaining bear law without using sharp claws. One certainty makes Beaver Creek sublime, the big guy keeping everyone in line. Did the rigors of night patrol finally take their toll? Administering bear justice is a chore. Did it ultimately become a bore? Our excursions into your woods annoy, but no more than the chew moving through. Done with sitting, waiting, doing bear yoga in retirement. Gonna toga, leadership duties did you discharge? Leaving Merlin in charge, or is there now a power vacuum? The big guy is sophisticated and restrained, never eaten hunters, mushrooms, and civilized are Huey and the boys, dancing and playing with cherry choo-choo toys. One can only imagine with the likes of a sight what chaos Huey and the boys will create at night. Have you abandoned us? The future appears bleak and ominous. Regime change can be hard. No need to lift the shard. We will let that candle burn until hopefully one day you return. Where you go, where to go? Please, please, big guy, tell us it ain't so.